This is exactly what I would do if I only had 3 weeks to get rid of my dad bod. The step-by-step, no fluff way. But there's something important you need to understand first. Matter of fact, let's kill two birds with one stone and start shedding that belly fat while building habits that actually stick. So let's get the disclaimer out of the way. This accelerates the sustainable principles I teach all my clients, but we'll need to dial it back to a more sustainable pace after 3 weeks. This is what I call my jumpstart protocol. It launches you into the lifestyle changes that become automatic. And we're going to tackle the dad bod from both sides, what you eat and when you eat it, using the same principles that have helped hundreds of professional fathers transform their bodies. My name's Tyson Johnson. I'm a father of three, a busy corporate professional, and have maintained 10% body fat for over 20 years since my transformation back in 2004. Since 2017, we've tracked every single professional father who's been through our program. 96% of them who follow our program average 20.2 pounds lost in their first 12 weeks as their first milestone, and or 3 inches of belly fat off their stomach. Do this right, and you might even feel your energy and confidence come back for the first time in years, just like hundreds of my clients have experienced. So let's not waste time and dive straight in. I'm going to start with the most important shift, and it's probably not what you think. Let me talk about what we're actually dealing with here. It's called the dad bod. That spare tire around your midsection, the love handles, the belly fat that makes you feel like you need to avoid taking your shirt off at the pool. But this isn't just about looking good. That harmful belly fat around your midsection is linked to serious health problems like insulin resistance, high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. As a busy professional father, you probably have noticed your energy declining. Maybe you're even having trouble keeping up with your kids, or you're just not feeling like you're the best version of yourself. I've had clients tell me that their wives have been looking at them differently than when they were first married. Others say that they don't feel like they're in control of their life anymore. So here's what most people don't understand. Insulin is your body's body fat storage hormone. When insulin is high, you store fat. When it's low, you burn fat. And it's just that simple. The problem is with our modern eating habits, snacking constantly, processed food, eating from morning until night, insulin stays elevated all day long. And high insulin leads to more cravings, more eating, and more insulin. And you end up in this cycle where food controls your life instead of you controlling the food. But here's the good news. Once you understand how to control insulin, everything changes. And that's exactly what happened to me back in 2004 when I went from 20% body fat down to 8% body fat. When I made my transformation and started then working with clients, I discovered 3 areas where everyone was making mistakes. Once we fixed these areas with 3 shifts, amazing things started to happen. So shift number 1 deals with meal timing. Shift number 2 is called the satiety index. Shift number 3 is supercharging your metabolism. So for these 3 weeks, we're going to focus heavily on the first 2 shifts because they give you the biggest bang for your buck, and they actually require less time, not more. So this is specifically designed for busy professional fathers who don't have hours to spend in the gym, but they still want results. So shift number 1 is meal timing. Great news here. As a busy professional, this is actually going to require less of your time, not more. Did you know that the number 1 health disorder in the world is insulin resistance? It comes from eating inappropriate foods and having blood sugar levels go up and down all day long. What I discovered is when you narrow your eating window, the science shows that your body becomes more insulin sensitive, and that's exactly what you want. This is what allowed me and my clients to have such immediate and long-lasting transformations. So for the next 3 weeks, I want you to eat only between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. And that's it. Skip breakfast, have lunch at noon, finish dinner by 8 p.m. And yes, a diet drink or low-calorie coffee is fine in moderation during your fasting, but focus on getting water as your main source of hydration. So let me tell you about Ron, one of my clients. When he was in his late 60s, he had tried everything, working out, giving up sugar, not eating after dinner, and nothing really stuck. And worse, his doctor told him that his blood work was starting to look pre-diabetic. So we focused on meal timing for him, and he started losing a pound a week. He eventually lost 40 pounds and went from 215 pounds to his goal weight of 175. And 7 years later, he's still maintaining his lean goal weight of 175. And his doctor now says that his blood work looks awesome. When you narrow your feeding window, several things happen. First, you naturally eat less calories than you otherwise might. Second, insulin levels drop during the fasting period, allowing your body to burn fat. You'll spend less time thinking about food, less time preparing meals, and you'll actually have more mental clarity during your fasting hours. For busy fathers, this actually makes life easier. No more rushing to eat breakfast before work. No more afternoon energy crashes from constant eating. Most of my clients report having more energy and mental clarity during their fasting hours than they've had for years. So shift number 2 is my secret weapon. It's called the satiety index. When I discovered this again back in 2004, it totally changed my perspective. The satiety index is simply a scientific measurement of how filling and satisfying different foods are. Some foods keep you full for hours on fewer calories. Others leave you hungry and craving more. Most people don't know this, but a croissant is one of the least filling, satisfying foods out there. Has nothing to do with calories, though. A boiled potato is 7 times more filling and satisfying, and typically fewer in calories than that croissant. The old way to fat loss is to count calories, eliminate sugar, live off of chicken and broccoli, completely cut out sweets and pizza. And how many people do you know that look and feel amazing with this approach and actually able to sustain it? There's a better way to do this. Implement the satiety index and watch as your weight loss becomes a part of who you are, your identity. The pounds fall off and you have more energy and you feel alive. It involves coming up with a plan of foods that are filling and satisfying and lower in calories, and then just building that into your daily routine. So here are the foods that score highest on the satiety index. Boiled potatoes score a 323. That's, as I mentioned, 7 times more filling and satisfying than a croissant. Fish like cod and salmon score 225. That's very high. Old-fashioned oatmeal scores 209 or above. Apples score 197. So notice how many of these are high in protein. Protein is the most filling, satisfying macro out of proteins, carbs, and fats. And it's incredibly satisfying, and it has what's called the thermic effect. Your body burns more calories just by digesting protein. So let me tell you about Greg, a 62-year-old CEO, grandpa, and tribe member. He was struggling with sweets and cravings at night. He felt a little bit pudgy, even though he exercised regularly and tried to eat right. After implementing the satiety index, he overcame his cookie cravings and now maintains sub 15% body fat. And he's been in our tribe for over 5 years. So here's the beauty. I still have sweets and pizza with my family a couple times a week. It's done in a structured way, so I don't feel deprived. But 90% of the time, it's on autopilot using these filling, satisfying foods. Shift number 3 is supercharging your metabolism. We tell ourselves all the time these stupid lies like, my metabolism is slowed down, or I come from a family of fat people, or I'm getting older and so I'm destined to be overweight and unhealthy. And that definitely does not embrace the mindset that you are in control of your health and your life. Did you know, as I mentioned, that protein requires far more energy for your body to digest than carbohydrates or fats? So just by shifting to a higher protein nutrition plan, you're going to raise your metabolism, and that's what we want. Certain exercises also burn significantly more calories all day than just hopping on the elliptical for 30 minutes. My workouts are about 15 to 20 minutes a day, and a number of our customers don't even work out. They mainly focus on the nutritional shifts. So meet Nate, a 47-year-old doctor. He had the dad bod. He was already skinny, but he had developed a little bit of a gut from high school, and it was embarrassing. He and his wife had tried different nutrition programs, but just couldn't get off those final 10 to 15 pounds of fat. So we focused on supercharging his metabolism through a higher protein nutrition plan, and we changed up his workouts. He went from 18% body fat down to 10% body fat in 10 weeks, and finally had a six-pack as a busy dad professional. So here's exactly what you'll do for the next 3 weeks. You eat only between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. Every meal should include a high satiety protein and a satisfying carbohydrate from my list. If you need to, look it up on Google. Satiety index. For exercise, to start, do 8,000 to 10,000 steps daily. That's your informal cardio. 3 times per week, do 15 to 20 minutes of resistance training, just basic stuff focusing on compound movements. This is crucial. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Set a go-to sleep alarm, not just a wake-up alarm. Poor sleep elevates stress hormones and makes fat loss really hard. Take 20 to 30 minutes to walk daily. It's meditation in motion, and it dramatically reduces cortisol, your stress hormone that keeps belly fat stuck on your body. So let's be honest about what you can expect over the next 3 weeks. You might lose 5 to 10 pounds, feel less bloated, have noticeably better energy, and your clothes should be fitting better. But here's what's really happening: you're installing a foundation for sustainable transformation. These aren't temporary changes, they're lifestyle shifts that can become a part of who you are and automatic with time. My most successful clients didn't get their results in 3 weeks. Ron, he took 6 months to lose his 40 pounds. Jason, he went from 12% to 6% body fat over several months. Adam lost 19 pounds and then gained 12 pounds of muscle at his 12 months mark. As a busy professional father, you need an approach that works for your busy, demanding schedule, not against it. Most programs fail because they're not designed to fit your busy life. They don't account for business travel, client dinners, family obligations, and the stress of running a company or managing a team. What makes our approach different is it's built by a busy professional father, me, and it's for busy professional fathers, you. I travel constantly for work. I have 3 kids. I'm active in my church, and I understand the unique challenges that you face. Time is probably one of your scarcest resources. And that's exactly why I created the Six Pack Dad Tribe, because you need support from other like-minded men who understand your situation. Men who have succeeded in business but have struggled with their health. Our clients maintain their results because we focus on who they're becoming and the steps to naturally stay lean and not just follow short-term temporary diets or workout plans. This isn't about looking better, though you absolutely will. It's about feeling like the best version of yourself, having the energy to keep up with your kids, and feeling confident in any situation. When you're lean, fit, and energized, it affects every aspect of your life. Your confidence at work, your relationships, your overall quality of life. You're also modeling healthy health habits for your children and establishing a legacy of health. And what's that worth? Your kids are watching how you take care of yourself, and so are your grandkids. And that becomes their new normal. The guy who prioritizes their health in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're the ones who stay active and healthy into their 70s and beyond. Now, if you want to go beyond this 3-week jumpstart and build a complete system that works for your busy professional life, I'd invite you to book a call with me. What makes our program different is we work exclusively with father professionals age 35 to 65. We understand your schedule, your challenges, and what it takes to get sustainable results. Our clients average 20.2 pounds lost in their first 12 weeks, and 96% of them who follow the program, they see that as their first milestone. More importantly, they then go on to other milestones and build this as a sustainable lifestyle because that's the foundation of the program. We work on a pay-for-performance model, so if you don't get results, we keep coaching you for free until you do. That's how confident we are in our approach. If you're ready to finally solve this problem once and for all, click the link in the description and book a call, and let's build a system that actually works for your life as a busy professional father. Remember, this 3-week protocol is just the beginning. Real transformation happens when you commit to becoming the type of man who naturally stays lean and healthy year-round. I'll see you on our call.